people, CzarThwomp here, and welcome to episode 54 of the Greatest Attorney 2 Resolve. Last time, we were cross-examining those witnesses, and we discovered that basically the signboard, it was knocked down, and it was moved. And then basically, Venus, she found Gregson's pocket watch, and then we revealed that Gregson's pocket watch, it was just simply not wound up. So now we are going to present this to Kazuma. And having wound the pocket watch, we discovered that it is in fact still working. You see, the watch didn't stop because it was broken at all. And that fact completely undermines one of the most fundamental premises on which this entire case has been built. What? Order! But, counsel, the watch was stopped at almost exactly 5 o'clock.
Yeah, which is just when we heard the gunshot.
It is, exactly now, and CzarThwomp left there itchy. Okay, much better. The time that was showing on the watch tells us nothing other than when it was the time that was showing on the watch tells us nothing other than when it wound down. It's merely a coincidence that it happened to be at 5 o'clock.
Objection.
Even if that's true, the 3 witnesses here all heard the gunshot at 5 o'clock. So that's obviously when this crime was committed. Okay, yeah, basically in regards to this, I just remember, yeah, we should check out these fireworks.
Have you had an idea, Mr. Naruto? You're staring at the end of the string of fireworks.
Sorry, it's just that it's the Venus special. I was wondering what 600 pence worth of fireworks would sound like.
Shall we find out?
What? But she said that could blow up the courtroom. Alright. That was a fairly sizable bang.
My ears are still ringing, Mr. Naruto.
It sounded almost like... yeah, it sounded like a gunshot. There we go. This is what we're going to be proving.
Objection.
No, that doesn't hold. Why not? Recall what Inspector Lestrade said only moments ago. The boss used to wind it up every evening without fail when he was waiting for his grub to come at the pub. Said he hadn't missed a day in the last 10 years, polishing and winding it. It meant the world to him. It was all he had, considering that Iris was destroying his life and taking away any semblance of a good night's sleep. That watch did. The victim was in the habit of winding his watch once a day, in the evening. Well, we can reasonably assume, therefore, that he wound the timepiece on the evening before he died as well. Yes, that would be entirely reasonable. But if that's the case, you wouldn't expect the watch to have completely wound down by 5 o'clock the following day. Hey,
well, how do you explain that?
In summary, the evening before the day of the incident, when the gunshot rang out in that room, the inspector was already unable to wind his watch. You can't mean... What would stop a man winding his watch if he's been in the habit of winding it every single evening for the past 10 years? The obvious answer is that he was already dead. Order! Counsel! That is the most extraordinary claim!
Objection.
Extraordinary isn't the word. It's absurd! Welcome to my world, my Lord Nipponese apprentice. Welcome to the hell that I live with every trial. You claim he was already dead the night before. Do you really think that Scotland Yard's coroner would have overlooked something like that?
On that subject, there is something rather surprising. There's actually an omission in the coroner's report. The time of death is not noted.
That's right.
Wait a minute, you've forgotten that my legs went from under me when I kicked the door in.
What do you mean?
Like I said, I played my head on that dirty great bottle of blood.
Yes. So the victim's blood hadn't dried. It was fresh.
He gouges on fresh, doesn't he?
Objection.
But that blood could could be explained in a number of ways. It could have been put there afterwards. Some fresh blood could have been poured over the victim's body after he... Does my learned friend think that fresh blood is available on every street corner? Oh, no, 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 no! My learned Ebony's apprentice, you do not get the right to call my learned Ebony's friend your learned friend when you were a learned apprentice. And if anything, I am his learned friend. Because I am his best friend. You are not his best friend. He doesn't even like you all that much, and you don't like him. True, I may not like him that much, and we may not have the warmest of relationships. But frankly, he has seen me as a mentor figure. I have filled his simple mind with my wisdom. Every night he thinks to him, he prays, he says, thank God that Lord Van Zeeks is there to give me wisdom and insight on the world. For I would be lost without his guiding hand. I never said that, Van Zeeks. I've seen your eyes, my little Ebony's friend. I know that you're thinking it.
Ah! Well, it needn't necessarily have been human blood, of course. We've been told previously that Scotland Yard has no way to identify blood as human.
The problem is currently being researched. At present, you are correct. It is beyond our abilities.
So then, a chicken's blood could have been used, for example.
It's certainly a possibility that it wasn't the inspector's blood at all.
Objection!
But the gunshot was heard at 5 o'clock that afternoon. That's beyond question. Is it, though? What? Given that the time of death of the victim has already been called into question, isn't it beyond the realms of possibility that with these witnesses heard it wasn't a gunshot at all?
Oh, please, what are you trying to say?
I did not know what we heard, and it was a loud bang that came from that there room.
Now you listen to me! A street seller's ears are his livelihood! Now get back or I will rip you with this whip! I still have it! They didn't take it away from me! I fought for it!
I don't doubt your ears, sir, but all you can state with certainty is that you heard a noise.
Eh? Explain yourself then, counsel.
A noise that sounds like a gunshot could have been made with
Take that!
something like this. The culprit could have set off one of these to fake a gunshot.
Good gracious! The very fireworks that are sold by the witness?
Now, hold on a minute. Are you saying I did it? My pretty little firecrackers only make a little pop anyways, see?
Not 100 of them together. The Venus special that you sell for 600 pennies sounds like this. As the court can now attest, it sounds very much like a gunshot, in fact.
Ah!
You're trying to suggest that somebody set one of those fireworks off at the scene. I'm suggesting that somebody knew the defendant was in the room at 5 that day and sought to implicate him by creating a sound like a gunshot for these peddlers on Fresno Street to hear.
Objection!
But even the accused himself has testified they saw no one else in the room at the time. Whether it was a gun or a firecracker, the only person present to cause that bang was Barack Van Zeeks.
One whiff, a match, and my firecrackers go pop. See? It's why people like him.
I fear for your fingers, young lady.
Objection!
Recently, during my time here in Britain, I've learned of a very useful invention indeed. Something called a time bomb.
Good heavens, a bomb?
Yes, a device that allows you to blow up whenever you like.
Mr. Naruto, I worry that your unfortunate phrasing in there may lead to yet another international incident.
Ryanosuke holds the courtroom hostage. That's it. Okay, you're going to declare Van Zeeks as innocent, or I will blow this entire place to kingdom come. Don't test me. I have been pushed far enough, and I will destroy you all. I have toilet cleaner. I have taped it to the bombs as well. Yeah, now I can imagine just Apollo or Phoenix. Basically, one of them reaches their breaking point one day, and they just create a time bomb filled with toilet cleaner. No, wait. It's the whenever you like part that's important. A time device. Yes, exactly. A time device. Something of that nature could have been planted at the scene. a device that was able to produce the sound of a gunshot long after the culprit had left.
Your extravagant claim will have to be substantiated with evidence, counsel. What proof do you have to suggest in any way that a time device was employed to create the gunshot sound?
The candles.
Take that!
As the court has already discussed, the tip of one of the candles in this candelabrum had been blown off.
Indeed, because it was struck by the bullet, which presumably passed through the victim.
I don't think that's possible, my lord. Not possible? Why? And not to mention, they could have easily have proven that the bullet didn't hit the candelabrum by checking the wall next to it. I mean, I'm pretty sure the bullet would have gone through the wall. If there was no bullet hole in the wall, there was no candelabrum destruction. I mean, the bullet would have to be somewhere because of the scorching. There are gunfire scorch marks clearly visible on the broken candle.
There are? Goodness, yes. But is that not the case? That there was also scorching on the victim around the bullet entry wound?
That's right, there was. But as we heard earlier, scorching like that only occurs when the target has been at a very close range, a matter of centimeters from the gun.
Oh!
Which means that the scorching on the candle can possibly have been the result of a gunshot. You're suggesting it came from the fireworks?
I'm gonna buy, hey!
The fact that there's such visible scorching on the candle suggests that the fireworks must have been right next to it when they exploded. Or, to put it another way, the candle and the firecrackers were joined together. The culprit somehow attached the firecrackers at a point part way down the candle. After the killer had left the scene, the candle slowly burnt down along with the other two, until eventually it ignited the fuse of the firecrackers, generating a loud bang. And that is how these three witnesses came to believe they heard a gunshot at 5 o'clock.
Well, what a plot. That implies that the victim could have died earlier than we've been led to believe, the previous day even. No, just hold your horses. Saw the victim go into the building, remember?
I couldn't forget that flank over there, even if I wanted to!
The person you saw entering the building wasn't the victim at all. Consider this. Obviously, anybody can wear a wig. So the person that these witnesses saw entering the building 15 minutes before the incident occurred could easily have been someone else entirely, wearing the red hairpiece.
Someone else? Do you mean to say?
It was the same person who contrived the firecracker trick. In other words, Inspector Gregson's killer. Oh, very impressive, Ryunosuke Naruto. Kazuma! I'm really quite amazed you've come this far. But after all, wasn't I the one who told you that you had all the makings of a great defense lawyer? That's right, Ryunosuke. Remember, I made you, so I can destroy you. I also note the lack of time and death in this report, a stark omission. But as far as I'm concerned, this whole country's justice system leaves a lot to be desired. And then Danzig's, oh no you did not! You do not be dissing my Great Britain! And then Danzig starts throwing hollow challenges. Oh hell, our judicial system was perfectly fine until your lot came around here and started messing up things with your summation examinations and your absurdities and your theme music. Order! Professor Zogi, what on earth do you mean by the statement? I hear that many of the leading members of British judiciary are present to observe this trial today, so we cannot allow even the slightest doubt to be overlooked. The defense's assertion about the time of death based on the victim's stopwatch is just conjecture, but while the possibility exists that my learned friend may be correct, we have a duty to explore it.
Well, certainly, I would agree with you.
And what immediately comes to mind is, of course, What was Inspector Gregson doing, and where did he go on the day before the incident? Do you know? The inspector always carried out his investigative work alone. His movements were treated as confidential within Scotland Yard.
Even within the yard?
However, considering the evidence we've been presented with so far, I'd say it's fairly apparent that what the man was pursuing. Wouldn't you, my learned friend?
I do have a feeling about what case he might have been investigating.
Yes, I agree. Surely. My lord, the defense believes it can explain to the court that the case being inspected by the case that was being investigated by Inspector Gregson at the time of his death.
Very well, counsel. Present your argument to the court. What evidence is suggesting the case being investigated by the inspector on the day prior to the incident?
Take that!
I believe this red hairpiece points to the answer. We might assume it was part of a disguise used to carry out an undercover investigation.
Surely not. Such a brightly colored hairpiece would only serve to make the inspector more noticeable.
Yes, that's quite true. It would definitely have made him stand out in a crowd. Except, that is, in a crowd of gentlemen from the Red-Headed League.
The Red-Headed League?
So, you've already worked it out.
What on earth is this all about? Is there such an extraordinary league of gentlemen?
The Red-Headed League is currently under investigation for a grand deception.
A deception of what nature, counsel?
They've been targeting red-headed men across all of London and tricking them out of small sums of money. 2 men were arrested for the misdemeanor only yesterday, in fact. My lord, the defense calls for those 2 men to be summoned at once. And the funny part is that basically these guys committed an actual crime, though Sherlock basically, his sole purpose of arresting them was not because of the crime they were committing, but because they made the mistake of trying to, basically not giving him money. Basically, Sherlock was trying to basically extort the extortioners.
2 redheads?
Inspector Gregson clearly infiltrated the Red-Headed League using this hairpiece. So it's very likely that he had direct contact with these griddles. And then Gregson, please, you got to give me the red money. I can't go back empty-handed. Otherwise her ladyship will end us all. And it's quite possible that such contact led to more serious events.
I concur that we cannot, in good conscience, leave this new avenue unexplored.
Well done, Mr. Naruto.
Well, it's another possible line of inquiry for us, at least.
The prosecution will make immediate arrangements for the charged men to appear. Bring these 2 Red-Headed League conspirators before me, Prosecutor Asogi.
At once, my lord.
Very good. We will have a 30-minute recess. Court is adjourned.
To be continued. Yes, to be continued or not to be continued. No, I'm not saving the high progress. The 2nd of November, 12:33 p.m. The Old Bailey Defendant's Antechamber.
Oi, there you are, Odo. What kept you, my dear fellow?
Hello, Mr. Sholmes. Gina?
You sure about what you said there? That the boss, actually died the day before? It's pretty odd to swallow. Yes, I was shocked by the revelation too, Gina.
As was I, possibly more shocked than both of you. It's not competition, Mr. Sholmes, but I was more shocked than all of you put together.
This is the autopsy report in question, is it?
Yes, it's strange that there was no time of death noted. I suppose there's a simple explanation, or perhaps it was a deliberate omission, not omniscient.
Oh dear, if it was deliberate, it puts me in mind of the last case we worked on, and Dr. Scythe.
I know, anyways, it seems that on the day before Lord Van Zeeks discovered his body, Inspector Gregson was investigating the Red-Headed League, so perhaps something happened with them. Come to think of it, You had trouble with those League men too, didn't you, Mr. Sholmes? You were taken in by their trick?
No! Naturally, I wasn't taken in, as you put it. My sleuth-owned interest was merely piqued slightly by the rare scent of a wicked weekly £4 income.
And that scent masked the underlying scent of deception, I suppose.
And I was trying to extort them, or they could extort me. The two criminals in question are the pair that we saw being arrested yesterday, aren't they? And Mr. Sholmes is sweet, I mean. That's right, Suze. And it was me what talked them in. Thanks to a little tip-off by a good law-abiding citizen.
Indeed, yours truly. If I couldn't get my money, they weren't going to get their freedom. And it is the Holmes family motto. If I'm suffering, if I'm suffering, I'm going to damn well make sure you're suffering too. We like to spread the pain out, Juicy. We don't hold it in. We make the world suffer around us. We are toxic. So, it's gonna be that pair in the witness stand next, is it? Something doesn't quite make sense to me, though. The day before Inspector Gregson was found, you hadn't had trouble with the Redhead League yet, had you? Why would the inspector have been investigating them?
Well, the likely explanation would be that Gregson's own sleuth-hound interest was piqued by the rare scent of a weekly £4 income. Don't tar him with the same brush as you, Sholmes.
Yes, well, then there's the whole issue of Inspector Gregson being investigated by Lord Van Zeeks for some reason.
The Reaper, the Redhead League, Inspector Gregson, Lord Van Zeeks,
and Kazuma. I feel as though he knew we'd arrive at this point somehow.
Gosh, I think you're right.
What's he really trying to achieve here today?
All the answers will soon be revealed. Observe the time, my dear fellow. This recess will be over very shortly.
Yes, you're right. Kazuma was determined that he should be the one to prosecute this trial, and he was determined that I should take the defense. Just what is it that he's hoping to make me see, I wonder? I get the feeling we're a long way from the end of this trial yet. Are you ready then, Mr. Sato?
Yes.
Second of November, 1:00 p.m., the Old Bailey courtroom.
In the name of Her Majesty the Queen, I hereby declare this court to be in session again. We resume the closed court hearing of Barak Van Zeeks. Here present, he stands accused of murder. Now then, Prosecutor Sogi.
My lord!
Have you summoned the witnesses as requested?
Yes, the two members of the Red-Headed League who planned and carried out the deception. They arrived not long ago from the local prison by police carriage.
Very good. Bailiff, usher these two men into the courtroom.
These two men are currently being held by the police on suspicion of attempted extortion. And who the heck is giving the small one spaghetti? Where are we getting spaghetti? And more importantly, is it good spaghetti? You may have made your occupations, but state your names now for the court.
I am Fabien de Rousseau, a descendant of the great de Rousseau family from Nice, en France.
And my name is Peppino de Rossi. I am the first son of the great family de Rossi, the landowners from Napoli.
The two men first became acquainted at a boarding school for European nobility.
Those who graduate from Temzik are the future rulers of Europe. Because we gain the power of the Temzik fragment. We have the ability to interact with the ghost world.
Yeah, I love how they threw in a Temzik reference, basically referencing Ghost Trick.
But do you have any idea how boring it is to be born with the noble blood? Our laws! Even though my family tree is like a Christmas wreath,
I have more them in my life, as well as a third arm growing out of my back. And make it my mission to conceive better of the world by employing the little gray cells in my brain. I have 2 brains in my head as a result of the inbreeding. That is all I'm trying to do, huh? So, that's the only reason for this whole grand deception you've been carrying out. Yeah, it's all at the hands of this sociopathic French Hugh Neutron. Oui, you could say that.
Not bad, eh? He had the grand ideas, but the petty plans. The strange combinations are the charm of the hilarious brothers. See, Capo?
Listen to me, Peppino. I have 2 things to say to you.
Betsy? Are you about to tell me when you grand the antidotes, Very?
Firstly, I want you to stop calling me this capo. And secondly, we are not the hilarious brothers. This is serious business, you little femboy.
Sei bello! There it is, the capo strapagon, the Ferro brow! It is a deeper capo de Ferro, and the meaning of your words.
The court has been led to believe that under the banner of the Red-Headed League, you have conspired to swindle money from unsuspecting members of the public. Is that true?
Oui, c'est ça.
And what exactly was the nature of the deception by which you plan to defraud?
Alors, I will explain it in the next episode, because I think now would be a good time to end things off. Anyways, I really appreciate that you stuck around to watch this episode. You're a great viewer, and I hope you come back for the next one. If you like this video, like, subscribe, comment, share, do whatever you want. With that, I'll see you next time. Bye.